Okay, part 6 of Mega Man 9. Going to the shop, and I think I'm going to buy a shock guard, which protects you from spikes. You just take damage, but you won't die. It's really helpful. And I know it just because of the level I'm going to go into. Oh, and an energy tank, yeah. Good to have, in case something goes wrong. Going after Splash Woman, who, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Splash Woman is the first female Robot Master in the classic series, anyway. I think that's right, anyway. But anyway, this underwater level. And anyone who's played Mega Man knows that during the underwater levels, you can jump much higher, and you kind of float around a little bit. But other than that, it's really not much. Other than that, it's not that much different from any other game. Mega Man, underwater thingy. Shooting these octopus that you can only hit their heads when they come out of their little shell things. Screw. And I'm gonna take the left path down because it's easier and it can get a 1-up. Just being careful of the spikes. Little torpedo things. I hate these bombs because you can't kill them. If you shoot them, their bullets just bounce off and won't do anything. I know it looks riskier to take the right path, but I'm gonna take it anyway because you can get some health. And it just is a lot easier now. I mean, look at the left path. It's crazy. Decided to stay over here so I can take out this guy. Even though I think he respawns anyway, so I don't know why I did that. Yep. You can't kill them. They'll just keep following you until they explode. And here you have to ride bubbles up. Just is weird. You have to jump across, and I fell. See, it would have helped to have that energy now, because I took it before, even though I didn't really need it. But now, it would have been helpful to have. Yeah, the big ones don't pop, but the little ones you jump on do pop shortly after you land on them, like I didn't just do right there. Let's see. They'll pop. Jump to the bigger one. And watch out for the submarine guys flying at you. Jump over there to that one. I could have stayed on that one, that bubble I was just on, to help me get that screw, but I'm going to get that screw a different way. I know I mentioned before, but you can use the Hornet Chaser to get items, and they bring them back for you. A handy little tool to have. Those guys can be a pain in the butt. I know I'm trying to take this one out just because it will screw me up when I'm trying to jump across these platforms. See? Probably just could have used a different weapon. And the gimmick here is that these platforms come sliding out, and after a while they'll disappear, so you have to jump across them quickly. Probably also helps just to memorize their patterns so you don't fall off onto some spikes. F. Yeah, that's just because I had the shock guard. It protected me from death there. There we go. And now it starts getting a little tricky. Well, I mean, it was tricky before, but now it's crazy. There we go. Ooh, just barely avoided damage there. Okay, and Splash Woman is weak to the Hornet Chaser. This boss is actually pretty easy. Her attacks are pretty easy to avoid. Also, because, you know, the Hornet Chaser homes in on her, so makes it even easier. What's interesting about Splash Woman is that she's the only Robot Master in this game who, instead of taking one little pixel of damage from your Mega Buster, she takes 2. So... if you were out of Hornet Chaser ammo or didn't know what weapon to use, using the Mega Buster actually wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. And from Splash 1 we get the Laser Trident. Pretty useful later on because it can destroy certain walls in the Wily stages that will get you items that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. I buy a Beat Call because this one's helpful for the mini-boss here. Basically, if you fall into a hole while you have one of these, Beat, the little birdie guy, will fly in and pick you up and you can carry yourself out of a hole. Now we go after our last Robot Master, Concrete Man. This area almost reminds me of Woodman stage from Mega Man 2. This guy's because of all the trees in the background and whatnot. I'm anticipating those birds carrying those rocks, which is why I'm shooting a lot of them off screen. I know the game wants me to jump on those platforms, but fuck that, I'm gonna use the Rush Coil, bitch. Ah, fucked up. Yeah, there we go. Take that, game. Want me to jump on those platforms, eh? This is really easy, look at this. Easy. Next one is nowhere near as easy. I just stand really closer because I know that's one spot where it bounces up. And the next one is is actually really difficult because if you get hit, you'll get sucked backwards into one of those holes if you get hit, so it can be really tricky, and that's why I got that Beat Call item earlier, in case I did wind up falling into one of those holes. I hate these spiders. I could get that energy pellet with the Hornet Chaser, but I decided not to. I don't really need it. I hug the right wall so I can get that screw over there. You have to be careful of these blocks because there is one block that's fake and you'll fall right through it and you'll fall on those spikes and die. But you can tell which ones are fake though. You can see the ones that are fake. I mean, you can tell it's kind of hard to point it out because I don't know how to describe it. I'm actually having a lot of difficulty trying to get up there because of that damn spider guy. I just run past him and say, screw it. Took a lot of shots there. I really want those screws. But if there are items on screen while there are enemies, the Hornet Chaser will always go after the enemies first, so... So I'm just too lazy to jump up there. These platforms go up and down depending on the arrow on them. It's actually not that difficult to get past. You just have to be careful not to get carried up too high or too low. Alright, now we're going to take on the boss, Concrete Man, which actually, I always have a lot of trouble fighting this boss just because, well, you'll see. Yeah, when you get hit by this concrete shot, it'll encase you in concrete and you have to break free of it, which can be really annoying. The shots aren't always easy to avoid either. I decided to use an energy, or do I use an energy tank? Yeah, I do. I just want to kill him. Yeah, and if you're on the ground when he does that jump, you'll be stunned for a few seconds, and it can be really annoying. Because it leaves you open. And from Concrete Man, we get the Concrete Shot. In addition to being a weapon, you can also use it to make stepping blocks for yourself. They do break away after a very short amount of time, though. Saving the game. Actually, recently I downloaded the DLC that lets you play through the game as Proto Man. It's actually a lot harder to play as Proto Man because he takes twice as much damage from normal attacks than Mega Man does, but you do have a shield which is active when you jump. It can block projectile attacks, so that kind of helps you out there. But he can also use a charge shot and he can use a slide, which can be helpful, but overall I think it's a lot harder because you can't go to the shops, you can't buy any items to use. So if you're low on health, well, you'll have to farm for some. And now we have this cutscene, which shows us why all the Robot Masters are going crazy. And it's Dr. Wily. What a surprise. Mega Man, you must go after him. We don't know who he is, and it's dangerous to leave him alone. You must go after the energy cores immediately, Mega Man. Oh, Mega Man 8, and your horrible voice acting. Perhaps you're right. We want to be of some use too, people. Can you repair us? Except now I'm actually gonna, from here on out, I'm gonna spend a lot of time farming for screws so I can buy a lot of lives. And that noise, that horrible, horrible noise. And I'm gonna farm for screws so I can buy lives and energy tanks and all that stuff because the Wily stages are just brutal. I want to stock up on items first because I know I'm probably gonna need them, so you have to stay tuned for that.